Hello and welcome back to North Blenheim, New York, for Heiser Media's coverage of the 2025 KiIl Disc Golf Championship, presented by Disc Golf Journey and Disc Cap. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the booth today by Emily Dale. What is up, Emily?
Salutations, Nathan. Happy to be here, and if you did not catch the front nine, go do that right now. And while you're there, just make sure you subscribe and check out all the videos. We have some exciting disc golf here. Lucas is pulling away with a 6-stroke lead right now over Wyatt, but if you've seen this course before, a lot can happen back here in these woods with these conditions.
Yeah, it's been weird. We've had some rain, we've had sun, we've had wind, we've had snow. Just kidding, we didn't have any snow. But you never know. In New York, in June, maybe it'll snow. It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
This is true. Hole 10 starts our elevation changes, so we have a steep downhill to par 3. We have that OB area kind of in front where we saw the drone fly over. Doesn't really come into play unless you get a weird kick for some reason. This is going to be the most common play, I think, is just forehand wide and roll to the basket.
A little roll, maybe 2 feet to get him away from the tree, not the worst result. Yeah, plenty of space out there to the left, so just a nice little staple to finish forehand should work for most of these players. I think we saw Harry Chase spit out for the ace on this hole last year with just a nice little straight putter shot. So if you're feeling that one, it should work too. It looks like that's what Cochran's going to line up here. But he needs this one to flip up.
Oh, good log there. Checks him up within 20 feet there, it looks like. That tall grass back there is not OB. It is just this flagged area with this little winding path.
Looks like an early release for KiIl. And skips down to the right side. So a couple of longer putts here from the rough. Wyatt up first.
Just a little bit low there from KiIl. Lucas is about 1 step into the circle, knocks it down. Yeah. He's kind of running away with it now.
Yeah, I mean, six birdies in the last 7 holes is one way to pull away from a tournament. I mean, early on it was like a 2-stroke lead after hole, after hole 2, but just been chugging away, just birdie after birdie. Cochran's kind of been matching him, other than that one blemish on hole 8. He's now has 8 birdies in his last 7 birdies in his last 8 holes. Very solid round going for him as well. But just started with a bit too much of a deficit for Cochran to ever really get back into this thing. Wyatt was kind of the only person on the card that had a fighting chance of catching Lucas, and he is starting to slip away. So we'll see. Not over yet by any means, but with how Lucas has been playing, his chances of taking this thing down are looking great.
Heading into hole 11, another downhill hole. However, this one is lined with lots and lots of trees to get caught up in on the way. Plays much shorter than 325. We might see some of these players even just go to a standstill off the tee pad here.
Yeah, this one's just about getting that line right.
Ooh.
Letting that forehand sneak through the left side, and it does for Lucas. He's going to be in a great spot right there.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of late trees to miss on this one that you can't necessarily account for off the tee shot. You just kind of have to hope that your disc finds its way through towards the end of the flight.
Yeah, that'll be a scary downhill putt for Andrew to keep his birdie streak going.
Yeah, that's the other thing is you don't want to come up short on this hole. You'd like to be past the basket, putting back up towards it. So we watch Wyatt's disc take a great skip and slide up into the circle.
Yeah, a lot of interesting ground play from the pine straw and roots and rocks out here.
A lot of ground play there. For KiIl, going to end up probably 25 feet or so long in the basket. Showing off putting that morning yoga routine to use, looks like, but just a bit high on the release.
Hard to get a natural release when you're in a full split.
Yeah, it did not look like the most fun putt he's ever had. But Lucas is having a lot of fun. There's another birdie. Tack it on. Why not? Grow the lead even further. At least temporarily until Wyatt taps in his birdie.
Yeah, what a drive there from Wyatt. Just outside of bullseye there. I mean, he's playing really well too, but just unfortunately not able to keep pace with Lucas as we head over into hole number 12. It is a par 3, 358 feet, kind of just down in the valley here. A lot of trees to get stuck in on the way. It is pretty rough, and it's going to be a blind shot. I think we'll probably see some gentle putter turnovers to just kind of float down.
This hole's impossible from the long tee. It's just like a million trees to miss. I think, yes, like you said, the best option is definitely that putter turnover. But like, there's just so much in the way that it takes a ton of luck. And I think most players are happy with a par here. I mean, you can see the 3.49 average on this hole kind of tells you everything you need to know.
And Lucas got caught up in one of those big, thick pine trees that we mentioned over on the front nine, which is going to be interesting to get around. Wyatt gets caught up early. And you really don't know. I mean, we have spotters which do an amazing job out here and are very important, but once you're playing on this tee pad, you really are not clear as to where your disc is, what your lie looks like. Just kind of let it go and hope for the best.
Yeah, pretty much. That one gets caught up as well for Wads. It's just a lot to miss. So Scramble Town now for most of our players. Cochran is going to be up first. He's over on the left side, which actually kind of opens up because this is the way that most people will play from the short tee pad. If you watch the FPO coverage of this tournament.
Which you should. If you didn't, do it.
Which, good call. So yeah, actually not too bad of an up and down for him. Wads also has a pretty stock up and down. So good, fortunate lies for both of those guys to really have it be pretty open. And same thing for Wyatt too.
Fortunately, just not wide enough.
Yeah, just kind of maybe that downhill, awkward footing might have got to him.
Good little turnover there for Lucas.
Yeah, you can see what.
Oh, no. That is brutal. I mean, with the angle of the screen, anything that spits out and comes up on edge, you're going to have a similar result.
Yeah, tough break for Cochran. Good comeback putt, but
tough
yeah, that easily could have dropped low right. You think you're going to get it to stick, but it just kind of flops out for him. Unfortunate. Can't take any of these putts for granted, that's for sure. Lucas tapping in the par.
It's hard to tell from the angle how high above the basket he was there.
Yeah, this hole did play as the second hardest on the course, 2 par, so you can see why.
Looks like we have a hot round there from Fish, sneaking close into that podium spot, just outside for now.
Yeah, 6 under is pretty great. Only one off. Lucas still with the hot round going.
You might see this and think, is this par correct? It is. It is a par 4, 380 feet, and this is why we have a lot of elevation change. It's up, it's down, it's around. It has a lot of guardians, and it plays hard.
Yeah, tough slopey green too, so really just trying to get as far up this hill as possible off the tee shot. Forehand, backhand, both are fine options depending on what you prefer. And then it's going to be, for most of these players, a blind, not most, all. You can't get to the top of the hill really from here. A blind shot into that green with the basket on a slope. So still a very difficult hole, even though it's only 380 feet with the drastic elevation rise.
Yeah, this first hill is super steep, and getting up there is pretty much impossible. So you're just, for your second shot, you're putting yourself in placement for your second shot and then picking something in the distance around the basket to just chip up in. And that works out well for Wyatt there. You don't want to be behind that big tree.
Yeah, pick us. Either side is fine. Just don't be behind it. This is a nice flip up forehand for Cochran. Should find fairway. I think he just scooted past that last tree there. Oh, nope, he's right behind it. That is a unfortunate lie.
Makes it clench your fingers a little bit.
Yeah, don't break your hand. Like no follow through, you know. But what a shot.
Yeah, great shot.
Blind into that green with a tree in the backswing is not easy. Good looking
And it's
shot.
another very angle green, and now Lucas is letting his hair down.
Oh yeah, true. So, just need to cool off a little maybe.
He's feeling comfortable in the lead is what I'm saying. Let the hair down. Getting comfy up there.
Yeah, I mean he's got 8 strokes to work with right now, so he could really do anything he wants, and I think he's going to be just fine.
Great shot there from Wyatt, staying flat.
Birdie putt for Lucas here, probably right around. He's been here a lot today, 28 feet, and he's feeling comfortable.
Looking clean, confident, minus that baby steps walking in the mud. We want to keep those safe, but his game is looking confident and clean.
Oh, yeah.
Good putt there from Andrew as well. Bouncing back after the bogey on hole 12.
Oh no, Dave!
No,
He goes down. No.
Wait, I feel like we need to have a slow-mo.
Oh, that's brutal. I was watching him run, and I was thinking, Dave, that's such a bold strategy on this muddy green. You hate to see it. Good birdie for
great
KiIl.
Example of the conditions of this course. That's why all of our players are being careful.
Nice star frame for the card here on hole 13. Everybody able to pick up that birdie. And yeah, I got nothing else to say.
As we head into hole 14, it is pretty much just a dead straight, slightly downhill par 3, just over 400 feet. You really want to just avoid this large tree over on the left-hand side. As you see, players going the more forehand route to avoid it.
Yeah, you can throw either way. I mean, it really is dead straight, like you said. So whatever players are comfortable with.
Pick
and
your
also
poison.
could depend on the wind to see whatever is going to keep straight. But great shot from Lucas, able to just push that straight the whole way.
Looks like KiIl snagged a tree on the gap there that you need to clear. It'll be interesting to see what he has to work with, depending on where that kicked. This is looking good, though. Just a slower disc. Oh, yeah. That'll do.
Nice straight putter from Wyatt. Just slides all the way up there. Great shot. Oh, and this one's pulled from Cochran. That is, luckily does find the fairway, but.
Yeah, honestly, great result when you pull it that wide.
And looking like a good recovery as well. Just a bit short.
Tough shot there for KiIl. He does not make it out.
Yeah, it's still a tough lie again. Just trying to save bogey at this point. And pulls that one wide, so still going to have to get up and down from behind the tree with a weird touchy little shot. It is a putt.
Looks like Andrew's a little bit tentative there, didn't quite commit. And an unfortunate spit there. Catching some bad breaks here, taking the double bogey here over on hole 14.
Yeah, tough one to drop. It's going to be a double bogey for KiIl as well. So not a hole you think about taking the big numbers on. I mean, obviously the gap off the tee is very missable, but it's one that's just kind of right in front of you. If you hit that gap, you're going to have yourself a birdie putt most of the time, much like Lucas has got here. Probably just a 16, 17 footer.
Oh.
Yikes.
That was a brutal one.
Yeah, that was a good looking putt.
Yeah.
A little high maybe, but not that much pace on it. It's luckily he's got 7 strokes to work with, so
got a little bit of cushion.
he can afford it.
Hole 15 is a par 3, 380 feet. No will be on this hole. Basket's tucked over here on that right-hand side. Probably see a lot of these players taking just a big forehand pump. There is a lane over there on the kind of right-hand backhand side as well, if you were to choose that way. And this is really the teeth of this hole. Lots of guardian trees that have low branches. So if you get caught up in one of those early ones, even if you're within 20 feet, you're not going to have much of a putt with those low branches.
Yeah, and there's not much you can really do to avoid them. You just kind of, I mean, obviously you want to keep the disc low as possible, but at the end of the day, going to have to get a little squeaky towards the end of the flight. This one comes back, it could be good.
Just slightly too bad. I was going to say, I like the width of this one. It just need to be a little bit tighter.
See if Cochran can show us the line. This looks like a good angle. If it has the distance. Oh, yeah.
He's got quite the bounce back percentage as well.
Yeah, that's true. Looking at 100% in this round, at least, if he's able to knock down that 12-footer. Awkward little upshot for Lucas on that little air bounce. Got caught up a bit early.
Good effort from Wyatt. Going on here.
Yeah, exactly. They did not like that putt apparently from Wyatt, but he is able to connect on the comebacker to save the par. Lucas is also going to have a little meat left on the bone as well, I believe. Probably right around 25 feet. A little bit of wind.
Good save though.
Yeah, nice confident stroke there after the spit out on the last hole. It can sometimes be hard to commit to your next putt after you throw what seemed to be a perfect one that didn't stick. So good save for him. Good birdie for Cochran. Again, that's his third bounce back of the round. Nicely done.
Ooh, a little high, but she sticks. We'll get a check in here as we see some jockeying there in our podium, but otherwise Lucas has quite the lead here.
Yeah, 7 strokes with just 3 to go. As long as he can survive the round, I think it's going to be looking like another win for the kid.
par 4, 16. It is 462 feet. Again, not super long for a par 4, but really low ceiling and angled fairway. We have OB over there that's on that right-hand side that if you turn something over just too much, it's really easy to kind of keep carrying that angle and find the OB on that second shot.
Yeah, that road can come into play quick or potentially on a bad roll away. Cochran going to get aggressive on his tee shot, go for that turnover for max distance. It's well thrown. Anything up towards the top of the slope that you see in the distance is going to be in position to attack for birdie.
Lucas does get caught up in some of that shrubbery over there on the left-hand side, but I don't think there should be too much of a problem for him.
This one looks a little low from KiIl, but if it can get a bit of ground play, although that's unlikely in this thicker, taller grass. So kind of an awkward shot here into the green with the high ceiling and high floor and low ceiling to work with.
Yeah, and it's blind. So that just adds to the difficulty level. Here's what Lucas is left with over here. Going roller again.
Not a bad decision. It's the safer play because of it's going to finish to the left up the hill rather than if he tries to go with the flex forehand. There's a chance that it just fades out into that out of bounds. So safe shot. He can just pitch up there for a nice stress-free par.
Bad kick. I think it got caught up in that longer grass area.
Yeah, he should still have some sort of longer putt. Andrew, after a really great tee shot, sets himself up well for a birdie look there.
KiIl just laying up for par, as we see the same from Wyatt.
Yeah, I mean, with this situation where it is, we saw just on that leaderboard check-in, Wyatt also has 6 strokes ahead of third place for himself. So he can afford to be a little more conservative with some of these decisions down the stretch. It's not going to affect too much. But Cochran's got to still put the pedal to the metal. He's got fish breathing down his neck, looking to finish strong here and secure a solo third place finish. Could be a difference of, a couple $100 depending on the payout structure at this one. So still a lot to play for these guys. So gentle.
Heading over into hole 17. It is a par 3. It is only 315 feet. However, it plays much longer than that because it is much more uphill than it looks like on this drone flyover. We have OB surrounding, but mostly comes into play just deep in on that left-hand side. It's much wider over on the right.
If any of these players go deep on this hole, I will be quite impressed because it is a pump, even though it's only 315 feet. Cochran going full send, still comes up a bit short, probably right around circle's edge.
Yeah, it lines up well for the backhand player here. Backhand left-hand, I should say. Gets him, I mean, that's pretty close. 20 feet probably?
Yeah.
15, 20 feet?
Yeah, something like that. It's going to play a little farther, obviously, but
yeah,
good shot. This line is there, but it's just a bit scarier because of that out of bounds the whole way. So Lucas is erring on the safer side, coming up short right, plenty of space over there, and can just most likely lay up that 40-footer.
It looks like KiIl took more of that inside route where you're not throwing over the beak, keeps you safer if you do happen to find something, and got some pretty good distance up the gut.
Yeah, the rest of these guys all inside the circle. Cochran up first, right around the edge, and just a bit high. Wyatt last hope on the card for a birdie on this one. He's able to knock it down. That's a nice pickup.
Yeah, great bird there for him. He's been really consistent too. Only a couple mistakes throughout the round, but he's still putting together a really solid final round here at KiIl.
Yeah, it's kind of just been securely in second place the whole time. Never really too big of ups or downs. Putted very solidly and given himself enough chances to put together a solid performance. It would have taken a lot to chase down Lucas, especially with how he's played today. So nothing for Wyatt to hang his head at. He's played well.
You can see how muddy their discs are, even just picking them up. Finally, we get to hole 18. It is a doozy, par 5, 635 feet. Just a lot of OB. So we have a Mando right off the tee. Then we have an OB leaf pit. We have the OB parking lot. And once you finally get up here, you have a tunnel shot into the green, which of course is slightly elevated and perched right on a hill that basically feels like you're shooting into oblivion at the end.
Yeah, that basket we saw on the drone flyer over is not the one in use for the tournament. It is much scarier. Wyatt off the tee does catch one of those early trees, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is a harder Mando for the lefty here. Right-hand, backhand players are going to be able to take more comfortably the wider route, as you see here.
Looked a little pulled from Cochran, but no, it does get through, puts him in a very playable spot.
Super clean shot there from Lucas as well.
Yeah, puts him right in position. Yeah, good shot from KiIl as well. Yeah, at 635 feet, you would think, oh, is this hole eagleable like for hole 18? But it's really not. Like, it's just hard to be in a position off the tee to bite off enough distance to where you can actually make that angle into the green.
Unfortunately, Wyatt does find that little patch of OB there on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so I think Lucas is going to get aggressive here, but it's going to be a demanding shot with the low ceiling and that angle back to the right at the end, although this looks like it's a great line.
Good night. Good grief. I respect the sendies. He said he heard you say eagle's not possible. And
oh my God, he's like parked. What the heck?
Go home, Lucas.
Never mind. What do I know?
Never ceases to amaze us on coverage and in person.
Yeah, for real, kid. You're winning by 6 strokes. What are we... you just had to also just make me look like a big dummy by eagling the last hole when I said it wasn't possible.
You bum.
Oh my goodness. Tough up and down here for Wyatt, but doesn't necessarily need it with where he's at in the tournament. Can kind of just...
Yeah, you just want to keep it clean here. Yeah. Minimize strokes. But what you don't want to be left with is too much to work with here on this elevated final basket.
Yeah, should be a very makeable putt for Wyatt from there. Cochran just pulls that one a bit. It's going to put him in a tough spot. He might want to take a peek at the scores before he decides what he wants to do with that putt there.
And we've seen a lot of yoga and awkward positions there from KiIl. He's been stretching all day long.
Yeah, so
and
Cochran,
like you said, just a layup.
Yep, and if he did look at the scores, he does have a 2-stroke cushion at this point on Andrew Fish. So that layup will secure Andrew Cochran a 3rd place finish. Wyatt, plenty of buffer for him. So if he knocks this down, that'll be a nice 2nd place, and that's just mean.
Yeah, that was not a good spit out. Looked like a good putt. And this is Lucas for eagle, because why not?
Why not? You know, he's already got the hot round at 8 under. Why not just make it a 10? Just a nice, clean 10 under par to finish the tournament.
And worth noting, Lucas was the only eagle on the day on hole 18 with the hot round. There's a smile out of him.
Great stuff from the kid. That's going to be a 10-stroke victory
That is
at an
nutty.
8-tier for Lucas Oberholtzer Hess. That is not something that you see every day. What a absolutely incredible performance.
He's a beast with beautiful hair.
Truly.
Someone get this boy a
Ladies and
shampoo
gentlemen,
sponsorship.
Your 2025 KiIl Disc Golf Champion, Lucas Oberholtzer Hess. First off, I gotta say huge thank you to Jason, Jess, all the volunteers out here. This was such a well-run event. It was a lot of fun to play in. There were spotters on every hole that needed one, plus some, and it makes a huge difference, especially when you have bad weather like yesterday. Thank you to Westside. They're huge for supporting me. Cosmic Disc Golf as well. Thanks to good card mates. I had fun every round. Thanks to you all for cheering me on out here. Yeah, great weekend. Thank you. Thanks.
Great performance from our slider as well with the catch cam. Thank you so much to the LaSassos for bringing us out here to get this amazing coverage at this beautiful course for the 3rd year running. What a round.
Yeah, killer round from Lucas, 10 down to finish it out, is quite impressive as we take a look at the rest of our top 10. Great performances all around. Congratulations to all the competitors at this year's KiIl Disc Golf Championship. If you're interested, we've got 3 rounds of coverage from this year's Brewster Ridge Open up in Vermont coming out very soon, so make sure you're subscribed to Heiser Media's channel so you don't miss it. But until next time, I'm Nathan Johnson for Emily Dale. Peace.
Peace out, Girl Scout.